What's up, everyone? Champ Bets back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC 308, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Holy crap, what a card. What a card we got. Super excited. Abu Dhabi's going to be early, and we will be there no matter what. As always, let's go over what happened last time in terms of betting-wise, as well as my picks. Let's bring it up. It could have went way worse, to be fair, but oh man, Kyler Phillips let me down so hard. But let's go into these ones. I also did bet Fabian Edwards, but not by much, and I didn't really want to give that one out. It's like a personal thing. But the first fight on here was Melissa Martinez versus Alice Ardaline that I bet on, and this was like one of my more significant bets, my second biggest part of the card. I thought Melissa Martinez was just gonna do what the hell she wants in the striking. I kind of felt that was the case, except for round two. Round two was a little sketchy. It's like, oh, she's getting hit a lot more than I was hoping. Again, I was not expecting Melissa Martinez to be anything like insane, but at minus 130, come on. Round one, I don't know what the hell, like some of the, was it the commentators? Like the live odds were bananas, having Alice Ardaline as like a massive favorite. I have no idea what they were seeing, because it was definitely clear as day. To me, Martinez won round one and round three. Round one, she barely got hit by anything much at all, if in all honesty. She really didn't. Like, just from like watching, and she was definitely hitting the better shots. With like the kicks. Round two, Ardaline definitely had more success. I think I gave that round to Ardaline, but like, to be fair, and this is probably why judges scored every round 30-27, all the rounds to Martinez. Martinez hit some big like head kicks at the end of the round, like 3 consecutive ones. It was like, oh, that's probably more than everything Alice Ardaline did. Fair play. Which is absolutely beautiful. She has nice kicks. And also something that made me feel good about it. Alice Ardaline didn't really have much success with the wrestling grappling. She didn't really do much with it, which is really surprising. It's kind of dumb. I don't know what she was doing. And Melissa Martinez was robbed of a finish. She was robbed by the finish. The referee thought Alice Ardaline got hit by a groin shot, which definitely wasn't. It was a liver shot, and she was down. That was a TKO. 100% for Melissa Martinez, but doesn't matter. She ended up winning the whole fight as a whole. I'll live. I'm happy she won. Good stuff, Melissa Martinez. You made me happy. Next fight I had to bet on was Jessica Penne to win against Elise Reed. This was 0.1. I only put $1 on this. I thought she would have some success with the grappling and the wrestling, and I mean, round one she did. She made it like competitive, but the striking is bad. Elise Reed did have the things, and especially early on in the fight, it was like she had me. If I had money on her, I'd be screaming through the roof. As I said in my breakdown, I'm an Elise Reed enjoyer, and like a spot like this is where she can fumble. She's been able to fumble in the past. Not this time though. Rounds 2 and 3, she really like put on more volume. And that was great to see, because Elise Reed was money. On the fee is money. And again, it's Jessica Penne, so it's nothing that crazy. But hey, props to Elise Reed. I like her a lot. Jessica Penne was not able to get the takedowns. Tried using tight clinch. Wasn't able to be too successful with it. It was a great win by Elise Reed. She did way more damage. So good to her. I didn't put too much into that one. The next one I had to bet on was Brad Katona against John Matsumoto. I bet Katona plus 3.5. Freaking great bet. I'll tell you that. I thought that was a great bet. That was a close fight. That was a really close fight. I think you can argue Katona won. I think you can argue Matsumoto won. I think I did ultimately give it to Matsumoto. It was such slim margins that it would have been bad whatever decision they gave it to. I knew it was going to be close, which is why I was like, I'm going to play this plus 3.5. I'm pretty sure Katona is going to always make this like a war. It's always going to end up being a war, and both are going to get one round at least. Or Katona is going to get one round at least, which is why I bet the plus 3.5. That's exactly what happened. Made me very happy. Proud of you, Katona. You fought for my money, and it was a great fight. I thought that should have been fight of the night. That was my favorite fight of the night. good show. I love Matsumoto. I think he's special. I do think he's the future. I did think Katona's going to be a massive test, and he definitely was. Definitely was. And there are things in Matsumoto. Ugh. But he's young. He's young. He's got so much room to grow, and he's definitely got some crazy, like, great things to see in a guy like him. Asi Almabayev was my next bet. Maybe not the best bet on -170, but he pulled through. He won. He definitely won rounds 1 and round 3. Round 2 went to Nicolau. The submission. The shorts coming off Asi. That was not good. Able to drop Nicolau in the third. Round 1 was pretty tit for tat. Not much going on, but just Asi won off volume. He just threw more. That's like is a typical Nicolau fight in that Nicolau is just so low volume. He's like, I'm gonna fight my own pace. I'm not gonna force anything, and he didn't really force much and kind of lost because of it. So, and credit to Asu. Asu did a really good job. He didn't wrestle too much, which was interesting to see. Like he decided to show a little bit more of his stand up, and then stand up was all right. It was all right, not like the worst things ever. I like the kicks he implemented against Nicolau, like pretty good. Like the body kick was nice. Like that thing was. I mean, ended up winning him the fight because of round 1. So credit to Asu. I'm still high on him. When he got the wrestling going, freaking beautiful. He's such a good wrestler. And Nicolau's not easy to take down. And yeah, he passed the test. Props to Asu Almabayev. I'm high on him. I do think he's pretty freaking good for this division. Next fight I had bet on Sumo Darji to win against Charles Johnson. I did on my video I picked Charles Johnson, but I ended up making a switch to Sumo Darji. And I made a comment on the video saying I did. And the reason why is because I watched back the Ode Osborne fights. Like, oh, it's like not like Charles Johnson's like the most different guy as he was from then. Sue can win this, especially since I knew he changed to Team Alpha Male. Like he's definitely gonna work on his grapple. It's gonna be better than it was. There's no way it's gonna be as worse. The worst is like it was. And no, what am I talking about? There's no way it's not gonna improve from where it was. Is what I meant to say. And it's not like Charles Johnson's the same kind of wrestler as Tim Elliott. And even then, the first layer of takedown defense of Sue was really good. It's just the grappling was not so great. He showed massive improvements in the grappling this fight, Sue. I would make this bet all day, every day again with how this fight went. I thought Sue won. I thought he won rounds 1 and 3. Round 2 definitely went to Charles Johnson. And this fight did come down to round 1. Round 1 was close. I thought Sue landed the better shots, in all honesty. I did. Just more clean. And I didn't think like the last flurry Johnson got really won him the round. But it was close. Again, plus 230 on that kind of fight. It's whatever. I'm not too mad. I had a bet like that. I really hope they don't cut Sue. He really shouldn't be cut. I don't think they will. But this guy actually does have a future, and I think him moving to Team Alpha Male was such a good move for him. I do like him going forward. His kickboxing is freaking nice. Gotta respect him. And then my big bet of the card, Kyler Phillips over Rob Font. What happened, Kyler? What happened? I was so high off Kyler Phillips after his last fight against Pedro Munoz. Not because I think beating Pedro Munoz is anything crazy, but because, oh my god, this guy actually knows how to control his cardio. Like, and we saw that in the last few fights. I can actually trust him now. Like, oh my god, no, you can't. He gassed out after one round, or not even necessarily one round, but like after like most of round 1, Rob Font was able to get up. Oh man, it was bad. I was like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good, and it wasn't good. Yeah, Rob Font put on him, and I'm a Rob Font guy, so I'm in a way I'm happy. I'm not happy to lose money, of course, but I'm happy to see him be on top and winning again. Probably going to see Firas Zahabi definitely helped him a bunch, it seemed. Yeah, Kylie, the cardio is a big issue with him, and I didn't expect that to be back as it was. And I thought that if there was going to be cardio issues, it would be after round 2, and he already banked those rounds. And I didn't even think that would happen. I thought he'd be able to get on top with no problem after rounds, even after like round 1. So it is what it is. I thought Rob Font's the kind of guy to mess up in like fights like that when he really should be winning. But like, again, damn. Not the worst. It could have been. It could have went way worse if some of these other ones lost, like Melissa Martinez or Asu lost. But I'm not gonna complain too much. It is what it is. We're not gonna win every night. I'd probably bet most of these again, except for Kyler. I thought all my other bets were pretty fine. So, yeah. In terms of picks on that card, we can go take a look. I didn't do good on picks at all this card. Kind of wild because I had 12 of 12 last week, and now it's like 4 of 11. That's not good. But let's go through these. Austin Lane beats Robelis Spain. I definitely am happy I didn't bet on this guy. I was thinking about betting round 2. I was like, no, what's the freaking point? Got taken down round 1. Round 2 is able to keep on the feet. Won that round. Robelis. Round 3 got taken down. Takedown defense is garbage on this guy. Just Robelis just ain't it. He just ain't it. And I'm happy I learned my lesson against the Wild, though. When I did bet Robelis hot, like big, or not big, but I bet a good amount on him because I thought, oh, Wilder got chin really bad. This guy can chin. That's bad. That was bad. And I thought his size would be a big factor, and it kind of was. The reason why he got taken down round 1, or not necessarily taken out, he tripped, and then Elaine pounced on him and really wasn't able to get up. But yeah, props to Elaine. He won that one. Not too mad. Talked about this one. Got this one right. Jocelyn Edwards won by sub pretty crazily. This was a great fight. This was a really good fight. I mean, shoot, this is the best Jocelyn Edwards ever looked, and I think that says a lot because, or not says a lot. It doesn't say much, I should say, because Vidal just ain't. Or it says a lot about Vidal, I think, because I don't think Jocelyn Edwards is anything crazy. There are moments where I was like, no way Jocelyn's gonna mess this up. There were moments like that where it happened in the fight, but she was able to get the wrestling going, and like the wrestling was the biggest thing, and even on the feet, landing the better shots. Jocelyn Edwards is just a way better fighter than Tamiris Vidal. So yeah, props to Jocelyn Edwards. Got that one. This one, Darren Elkins, Daniel Pineda. No, I didn't even have a bet on this one. I don't think any fight made me more mad than this one. Again, I didn't have a bet on this because I knew. I think I said this exactly in my breakdown. It's like Pineda can do one thing and he'll screw himself out of this fight. Pull guillotine. He did it like 4 or 5 different times in this fight. I couldn't believe what he was doing. Because the one thing you don't do against team alpha male guys, don't pull guillotine. They're too good at stopping that defense. They're too good with that defense. They'll literally put their heads in there just so that they can get top position. And like you'll fall for going for a guillotine. It's just, I was going out of my mind. I was like, what are you doing? You did not prep for this. It was a great fight though, by all means. I'm not gonna discount it like that. It's like Pineda, you should have kept this on the feet. You would have won like that. He fumbled this win, 100% in my opinion. Daniel Pineda. Great win by Darren Elkins. We love the damage. There's nothing wrong with the damage winning. Yeah, but I saw things from the damage just by it's like, oh, not good. I'm not crazy about Darren Elkins this year, even if he's not coming off a win streak. So again, props to Darren Elkins, but yeesh. Cameron Smotherman versus Jake Hadley. I made like I'll add also that to the comment where I talked about Charles Johnson, Sumo Darji. Damn, I can't believe Jake Hadley. That was bad. Cameron Smotherman came in on some of the worst circumstances there was, with like flying in from Abu Dhabi and like totally completely short notice. And now Hadley's like, oh, he should be a better boxer than Smotherman, probably a better Oh, it was such a bad performance. That was bad. I didn't have a bet on him, and I'm happy I didn't, because I would be mad at myself if I lost on Jake Hadley in this one. Just, I like Jake Hadley. I usually pick him in fights, and I saw he got cut from the UFC, so I'm sad for the guy. I do think he's talented, but I get why they cut him. He's just not been performing. It's a good one by Smotherman. I'm happy he's in the UFC. That was a great speech from him after the fight, so props to him. Talked about this one, and I haven't talked about the main event. Michel Pereira versus Fluffy. Anthony Hernandez. Went exactly how I went. I was exactly right in terms of like betting this fight. When it was like, if you want to bet Fluffy, bet it up front, because it's not going to get better as as it goes. It's not. They're gonna be onto it. Whereas like Mikal is, if he doesn't get it down early, he's screwed. And honestly, even round one, I thought Hernandez won. I thought Hernandez won round one. Such a bad look for Michel Pereira. And again, I'm not going to put it too much against him. Why? Because Fluffy does that to everyone he fights. He does that to literally everyone. He drowns people. And he's so good. He's so good. I've been a massive fan of this guy ever since the Rodolfo Vieira fight. And it's like, I've never picked against him, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I'm quite sure I've never picked against him in that sense. I do think there are guys up ahead that can definitely give him trouble. I think there are definitely guys who there's a reason why people pick Michel is because they like Fluffy is like soft. He can sometimes just take damage and not be able to sustain it early on. I think there are guys up in the rankings that can definitely do that. I think maybe in a Mavov, scary free Mavov, because again, Mavov showed problems with his gas tank, and someone like Fluffy can that could be really bad. But again, Mavov's a sniper. He has a chance more than Michel did. Drickus absolutely has that power. He can definitely do it. I think Kyle Baralho can do something similar to how Umar would do Marab. He's like, he'll just hold him down. Hold him down. You can't use your cardio on me because you're just gonna be down on the ground. That kind of thing. I think guys like that would be problems for Fluffy, possibly. Again, like Imavov is like, I have a lot of belief in his abilities at the striking, and that's why I'm like that. I trust him more than Michel did. But even then, it is a bad matchup for Imavov. I totally get that. So just want to say that up front. Great win by Fluffy Hernandez. I'm surprised he's not ranked in the top 10. I mean, respect to Jack Hermanson. Maybe don't move him down, but Delidzy's ranked above this guy. This is insane. Give him Delidzy next. Max bet Fluffy. So yeah, that's that card. Let's go on to this one. I'm super excited for UFC 308. This is a great card. Start with Bruno Silva versus Ismail Nardiev, the Austrian Wonder Boy. This fight hurt. Like, not hurts. It's like, it's hard to break down. Like, I'm gonna go Bruno Silva by KO. I guess round 1, maybe round 2. Let's say round 1 for the fun of it. I'm not confident. Nardiev has been gotten finished in some of these past fights. Just not good. Yeah. Bruno's, the way he lost to Weidman was so bad. And again, he got eye poked a bunch. He looked awful that fight. And that hurt my soul. Because I love Bruno Silva. The look-alike Rudy Gobert, as I like to call him. It's not been looking so good for Bruno. But I don't think this is necessarily the worst matchup for him. I think he's able to pressure Nardiev and catch him like some other people have done. Nardiev is very young, but I think Bruno's style can catch him. Like maybe similar to like Brad Tavares, able to catch him and get him out of there. I'm not like ultra confident in this. If there's a side of bet, it's just whoever the underdog is. Right now it's Bruno. Earlier on it was Nardiev. I think him as an underdog bet, not a bad bet by any means. It's just, who knows? Yeah, he's not even that. He's like plus 130 right now, Bruno. So I'm looking at fight odds. Yeah, I mean, they're starting to get some value there. If I do make a bet on this, it'd be like very small. You can't trust them. You can't trust it. So that's my thoughts for that. Next fight of the card: Ibo Arslan versus Rafael. I haven't like looked how to say this guy's name, but I've seen the highlights of this guy, and as well as like one fight he's had, and it's called Demo Fight, which is such a weird promotion because when I was looking at the tape, it looked like he was fighting at like a high school, some kind of gym, it was very odd. But honestly, this is a pretty 50-50 fight in my eyes. I'm gonna go with Arslan and win by just KO. I think there's gonna be KO either side, whoever wins, Rafael and Ibo. I don't like the competition this guy's faced. Rafael, it's not there. But in terms of betting wise, it's kind of wild. Although Ibo Arslan's now like a dog on Bet Online. Now looking at it, plus 100 is kind of wild. Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. I had no idea. I'm still not interested in betting this because again, this fight is so volatile. It's so volatile. This guy can definitely win Raphael, and he can absolutely knock out Ebo bad. Honestly, decision, like KO or I think decision is very possible too. I'm gonna still stick with KO, but it's very possible that these guys like punch each other out early on. They're still both there, and it's like, they're both tired. It could go to decision too. I'm gonna lean Arslan because he's had more experience with like higher level, but even then the competition is not. It's pretty 50-50. But I'm gonna go Arslan. I think he's gonna ready to step up to the plate and win. Not confident at all in that one. I'm gonna be real. Here we go. Talking about confidence. Renat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. I know I've seen a lot of not a lot, but I've seen some people make the case for Carlos Leal this week, but I don't see it. I think Renat wins a decision. He's a decisionator. Nothing wrong with that. We've seen Carlos. We've not seen Carlos Leal fight a wrestler like Renat Fakhretdinov. He's going to heavily rely on the chain wrestling, and because of that, I think he's kind of screwed here on short notice. Not really short notice because he's had a fight booked, but it's like short notice for a guy with this kind of style. Because Leo is not going to fight anyone good in the short notice fight he had. I think Renat's going to win this fight all day. Maybe not all day, but it feels like in a way a setup spot. It originally definitely was a setup spot with Renat versus Rusev, but I would have smashed that Renat all day. He would have beat the crap out of Rusev. Rusev has no takedown defense, and it literally his takedown defense is a Kimura trap. That's it. Renat would have had a field day with him. But here, probably maybe a little bit tougher, but like at the same time, it will be a worry in round 3 if he's not able to get a takedown. I do think he will. I think it'll be maybe like resembling the Battle fight where he took down Brian Battle each round. It was short notice for Battle too, and it's like you don't have to worry about his cardio if he's able to get the takedowns in hold position. So I think that's the main thing for Renat Fakhretdinov, and I think that's going to be how he gets success here. So give me Renat. I like him a lot. Speaking of like a lot, Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. I love Farid Basharat on this spot. Low-key submission is live. I think like a late submission is pretty live, but I'll go decision. Basharat just moved to ATT, which I think is a good move. Doesn't hurt to move gym sometimes to get more different looks. Training at ATT, I think that's a good gym as well. Just like Extreme Couture, good gym. What we saw in Victor Hugo's last fight against Falcao, it's like I saw what I needed to see. Like Farid's gonna beat this guy. Falcao was on short notice, and Falcao had a little too much success in the wrestling for my liking. Going into this fight, I know Victor Hugo called out Farid, and he's like, he wants this fight. He does want this fight. Does he though? I mean, I think he does, but I don't think he realizes what he's getting into. I mean, this is not really relevant to the breakdown, but I do want to mention this randomly. I've been seeing people all week saying, oh, Farid's a better Basharat. I don't think that's still true. I don't think that's true. I know Javid lost to Ayman Zahabi. Doesn't mean Zahabi is bad or anything. Zahabi's good. It doesn't... That fight was really close. I think he's got the better skills still. I really do think he's still the better one. It's not... And I don't subscribe to this theory that, oh, there's two brothers in the UFC. One has to be... Like, one is way better than the other. Both are really good. Makes no sense to me. Anyways, this is a complete tangent. I think Farid Basharat does whatever he wants here, though. If he on the feet, maybe a little bit of a worry. But if I'm honest, I think Hugo's leg lock or bust. Like some kind of submission or bust. I don't think that's very likely against Farid Basharat. He's always on his game. He's ready to go. He's very good. And I think if he gets takedowns, it's a wrap. And if Falcao was super short notice, he's got good wrestling of his own and he was able to take down Victor Hugo. I think it goes similar to that, but unlike Falcao is short notice, Farid Basharat is a full camp. He's going to be ready to go. I love Farid Basharat here. I bet him early on here, and I'm very, very happy to had the number I had, which was minus 380. And now it's like, it's disgusting. I don't think I would suggest betting it now. Minus 600, minus 675, minus 620. Ridiculous numbers. But I do think Basharat wins, like pretty convincingly. Maybe you can get away with a plus 3.5, or no, not plus, minus 3.5, because maybe the only chance Victor Hugo has, in all honesty, is round 1, I think. Round 2 and 3, I don't give him much of a shot of winning. If we get there, and for Reed implements a wrestling game plan, which you can trust he will do. You can definitely trust he will do. So I think when that line comes out, if it's good enough, I think that's definitely something to look at. So yeah, give me Fareed Basharat all day. Kennedy Nchukwu versus Chris Barnett. Barnett's back. Respect. We're happy for Barnett. This hurts me. Decision or KO? I'll go decision. Barnett's a little tough, but if Kennedy fights smart, this is gonna look easy. This is gonna look really easy. I get why the odds are what they are. I don't suggest betting on it because you can't trust Kennedy at like chalk like this. I bet you Barnett can get his kick high enough to hit Kennedy, even though Kennedy's a freaking monster. He's huge in comparison. If Kennedy uses his range, he's gonna make it look easy. Barnett gasses. He gasses. Kennedy can put a little bit of a pace, nothing crazy. Doesn't have to be crazy for Barnett. Barnett's old. He hasn't fought in so long, 2 years. That hurts my soul. This feels like a setup fight for Kennedy, even though it was like not necessarily was set up because like fights had to fall off for this to happen. But besides the point, I think Kennedy is a massive favorite for a reason. Much younger. I love him here. I'm not loving to the point where I'm going to bet it. I'm not interested in betting this fight at all. Maybe the minus 3.5 Kennedy, because if anyone's going to freaking win some rounds, it's going to be Kennedy. And I'm just going off that because I think the line might be just a little bit better and more bettable. But it's not something I'm going crazy about right now. So I think it's better to just pass overall in this fight. Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. This is a good fight. I love Abus here. I think around 2 KO. I think we saw Abus prove last fight he can have better cardio. And Bruno Ferreira has never proved to me he's got good cardio. In fact, I had a bet on him when he was fighting Dustin Stoltzfus because I think Stoltzfus is garbo. I don't think he's any sort of good. Sorry, but it's just what I think. Dude was giving me a heart attack, Bruno Ferreira. He pulled out a spinning elbow out of nowhere. Great job. And knocked Stoltzfus out. Like, got him out of there. But, man, to get to that point was scary. I like Abus here. I think, especially if we gets through that storm early on, yikes for Bruno. I think it's yikes for Bruno. I think Abus can fight in round 1 and be fine. I think he can take down Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira showed, like, he tried doing a judo throw on Stoltzfus and didn't really work. Like, that's not good. That's not good. I think I'm probably gonna, like, hammer. Maybe not hammer, but I'm definitely gonna bet Abus here. I like him a lot here, and I think he's gonna win this fight. So, yeah, give me Abus Magomedov to win. And be smart with the cardio. I hate this fight. Like, not because this fight is actually amazing. I love this fight in that sense, but I hate picking this fight. I love both these guys. Mittelbeck Holloway versus Mateusz Ronbetsky. Oh, Ronbetsky let me down. He let me down so bad last time out. I had a big bet on him there. I felt really foolish afterwards. But at these odds, is insane. I don't think Holloway is bettable at all. I think if we're going to bet a side, it's going to be Ronbetsky. I'm going to go with Holloway to win a decision. But I would not be shocked if Ronbetsky wins. Ronbetsky is really good. I think he might actually be the better wrestler of the two. He's a freaking tank. Like, dude's an absolute tank. The cardio scares me. It scares me. And that's kind of part of why I like Holloway here. And I think the reach is why I like Holloway here a little bit too. but Ron Betsky can crack. He can crack. He's got good wrestling. I wouldn't rule him out. I would not rule him out, especially after that last performance where he probably wants to bounce back big. This is not a bad buy low spot. I wouldn't be mad at anyone betting Ron Betsky by any means. But yeah, I do think Holloway can use the range and win like that. Maybe he got the grappling at least be good enough to maybe negate it and just be like a little like too big. Like Ron Betsky is big, but in terms of like dudes that like fell down, it's a freaking tank. While Holloway, long dude, long. He's got them long arms. I'm not confident in this, but I'm gonna ultimately go with Holloway to win this fight. So yeah, give me Miltelbeck, but this. Oh my God, here we go. This is my hot take of the card. I'm going Rafael dos Anjos. Well, maybe I have a few, but this is probably the craziest one I have of all of them. And to be honest, it's not really me believing super much in Dos Anjos. It's me. I have zero belief in Jeff Neal. I don't think Jeff Neal's good. Maybe not good. That's superlative. He's not that good. Like, I think RDA can win with his fight IQ. I really do think that's possible. I think he can win by pushing Jeff Neal against the fence. And I get the worries that people have for RDA. It's like he's getting way older. This fight's gonna be on his birthday. He's gonna be 40 years of age. Jeff Neal hits hard. He has good takedown defense. I get that. Although, to be fair, not many people have really shot too much on Jeff Neal. So RDA is going to be like the first one in a bit that's really going to try that super much. I don't think Shavkat's wrestling is all that impressive. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. Ponzinibbio was able to get him down. Old Ponzi. And I get it because Luque had success with taking down and like wrestling RDA. Still, I don't think RDA is the type of guy to come in and not have a good game plan for Jeff Neal. And he looked good against Gamrot. Which really, really impressed me and gave me a heart attack because I had a big bet on Gamrot that night. Gave me a heart attack. I think RDA is going to find a way to pull it out of the fire. Pull out the fire. I'm going to have a small bet on him. I'm not going to go crazy. I am going to look at the over, though, because I don't think RDA is going to get out of there. I understand, like, the worry because of him being older. Jeff Neal's kind of a head case, if I'm being honest. He's kind of a head case. Minus 170 over 2.5. I might have a small bet on RDA, and I might have over 2.5 next to it. So it's like, I don't think RDA is going to get finished. I think he'd win a decision. But even if he doesn't win a decision, I'll get paid enough to where it like basically negates the bet. And I wouldn't put too much on either of them. That's how I'm looking at doing this. So that's what I'm looking at for this specific fight. I think RDA is able to implement the wrestling and win like that. Stay clear of the shots from Jeff Neal and win. Give me RDA. I feel crazy doing it, but here we are. Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Armen Petrosyan. Superman. This is crazy. I like Armen Petrosyan decision. People called me crazy when I picked Armen Petrosyan to beat CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. I think it's the same thing here. I'm willing to take Armen Petrosyan over any fighter in just a kickboxing battle, which is what this is going to be. This is going to be a kickboxing fight. Can Armen Petrosyan maybe wrestle Shara? Honestly, I think so. Will he? No, he's not going to. I already know how Petrosyan is. That's not his thing. He wants to strike. And I'm okay with it. He's a really, really good kickboxer. He's super underrated. 16% is crazy. Petrosyan is freaking clean. I think this just ends up being a super competitive fight, however it goes. I think plus 3.5 is going to be interesting on Petrosyan. I would have to see the number. I'd probably rather play it at plus money than minus money. To be honest, it's a little scary because I get it. Shara's going to be the crowd favorite there. But man, Petrosyan's good. He's really, really, really good. And he's one of the things that makes him really good. He's basic. There's nothing wrong with being basic. You don't have to necessarily be flashy to be good. And he's so good at the basics. Like, he's able to negate guys. Again, like CLD, all at that time, he's all flashy, just doing random crazy stuff. But he lost the fight at the end of the day because Petrosian's basic, knows exactly what he needs to do to win. Armin Petrosian on the feet is it's a monster to deal with for everyone in this division. He's live to win any fight on the feet, and him at dog odds in these kinds of fights, I think it's benign. I think it's crazy. I'm probably gonna put a bet on him. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go crazy with it. I don't think there's a spot to go crazy with it. Like, I'd rather go crazy on Fareed or Abus than Petrosian, but I think Petrosian is a fantastic underdog, and I like him to win this fight. I like him to win this fight. Give me Armin Petrosian to win and finally have someone beat Sharmagomedov. Next fight up the card, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. The takes I've been hearing this week boggle my mind. I love Alexander Rakic in this fight. I have a bet on him. I like him a lot here. Let me explain why. And there are so many misconceptions about Rakic that they irritate me. I don't get where you're getting this from. These odds are bananas, by the way. Like, what are the odds right now? Minus 360, Magomed Ankalaev, plus 285, Rakic on Bet Online, 290 Rakic on Bovada. He's like plus 300 on for casters. Okay, but I got him at like plus 320. I'm very happy with that number. Very, very happy. Where does Magomed Ankalaev blow Rakic out in terms of MMA? There's literally not one area of MMA he's like crazy better than Rakic, and I'm not even willing to say he is better necessarily. On the feet, striking, I think it's probably pretty even. I kind of lean Rakic if I'm honest. From what I believe, I think he's better. But I mean, I'm not trying to. Obviously, both are really good. Both are really good. I want to reiterate that. Like, Magomed has fantastic strike. I picked both these guys to beat Pereira. I'll say that out loud. I think both these guys beat Pereira. In terms of the wrestling, I think is pretty even. If you look at the stats, very, very similar stats. Like, I think Rakic hits more significant strikes per minute by just like one. Ankalaev takes less like punches by just a little bit, only by a little bit, and some of these are inflated by some of the fights they've had, to be fair. But they have very, very similar styles, to be honest. And I think it's probably going to end up being pretty boring and a pretty tit-for-tat fight. Rakic, that's Rakic's type of fight. And I will get into that Yuri fight. I will get into that. Don't worry. And again, like the wrestling, they don't really go for too much takedowns, but they both have good wrestling. And it's to the point where if one of them gets a takedown, the other one doesn't really get back up, like the other fighter. But I don't think that's necessarily the case here because both have good wrestling. I think both can probably get up if they get wrestled. And Rakic is huge for this division. Rakic is huge. He's going to be bigger than Magomed Ankalaev in there. And Ankalaev is not no slouch. He's not no small guy. He's pretty big himself. Rakic is huge. And I think that does play a big factor for Rakic. The leg kicks. I think the leg kicks are the big separator on the feet between these two. Ankalaev does not check leg kicks unless that's new. Unless he add that to his game. He'd be smart to. But he doesn't check leg kicks. And man, Rakic can abuse his legs bad. Plus 320 is insane that I got on this guy. Plus 290 even. You can get on him. Insane. And I have to say this too. The fight IQ difference is huge. Rakic is smart. He is a good, smart fighter. I'll get to the Yuri fight. Don't worry. Why he fought that way. Against Blachowicz, we saw two completely different things. What Magomed Ankalaev, and I do want to say this because I'm not mad Ankalaev didn't necessarily like wrestle, like go full on wrestling against Blachowicz right away. That's understandable. It's MMA. You have to strike too. But to not mix in the threat, you don't necessarily have to go for a takedown, but you can feint a takedown. Feinting takedowns is huge. You can try for a takedown, not necessarily go crazy with it. It changes how people strike as a result. He didn't do that till round 4, really. I'm maybe remembering wrong, but definitely round 4 he went for takedowns and he got takedowns. And was able to get 10-8s on Blachowicz rounds 4 and 5. But like, he waited too long to even try. Why not try and mix it up? It made no sense to me. Made zero sense to me what he was doing. Like in rounds 1, 2, and 3, he was not doing so great. Round 1, it was close. It was close. All 3 judges gave it to Blachowicz. I thought Blachowicz won that round. The commentators made it seem like made other people think Ankalaev won the round because of teeth to the body. No, he didn't win. Blachowicz landed better shots in that round. But in the other hand, Rakic. People misremember this fight between Rakic and Blachowicz, and it frustrates me to no end. Yes, Blachowicz was beating up Rakic round 1 on the feet. Absolutely. Did the same with Magomed Ankalaev. It's not too different. Not too different from one another. The difference is, after getting beat up in round 1, Rakic went for a takedown round 2, and he was able to get it no problem. And he was winning that fight. The reason why he lost that fight is because his leg there was a random injury with his leg. It's not because Blachowicz kicked his legs. Like, that's not why it happened. And he stepped back, legs completely gave out on him. And he was out for a long time because of it. But he was on his way to winning that fight. Round 3, he was winning. He was winning that fight. Completely forgetting that, and just like, oh, Jan Blachowicz was winning that fight easy. No, absolutely not. And I also want to mention this, like, this fight, Volkan Ozdemir, he was robbed. He won that fight. He won that fight against Volkan Ozdemir. Close fight, sure. And I get it, like, Ankalaev not had a close fight, but I think Rakic, it's not too different. They're not too different. I think, like, Ankalaev didn't do crazy amount to separate. Volkan just had nothing that night. But again, their styles of striking. Ankalaev is willing to be patient, and he's willing to wait for strikes. Rakic is willing to be patient and wait for strikes. They're not too different in that sense. And again, to that Yuri fight, Rakic was looking world class that fight. Again, it's Yuri. He's going to take all the shots. The leg kicks were a thing of beauty. I was there live. I could hear the leg kicks from where I was sitting. They were so nasty. And Yuri Prochazka is one of the toughest human beings on this planet. Can Ankalaev take all those? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Is he going to be hit by as much? Probably not. But taking a few of those is not going to be so good for him. I do want to show this. Why did Rakic do that? Why didn't he go for takedowns? Why did he go for that approach? Well, I got you an article. He had staph. He had staph infection for that fight. He was on antibiotics, and as a result, cardio was not there. He said in a recent interview, I could not feel my legs in that, like, after round 1. That's just the truth. It's not an excuse, because he tried to get Yuri out of there round 1. He tried to accommodate for that, and he fought the way it's fight IQ at the end of the day to fight how he did, because he knew he couldn't do what he normally could against Yuri Prochazka. He had to fight like that in order to win. Yuri was too tough that day. You couldn't get him out of there. It is what it is. It's hard for people to fight like that. I want a rematch of that fight for the belt. I want to manifest that, because that fight was so good. But it's like, people just having misconceptions about this guy. This guy, I'm hoping he's fully healthy, and I'm assuming the injuries are not as bad this time around against Ankalaev. I think he's freaking ready. This is a huge moment. Back up against the wall, getting a big opportunity based off how he fought UFC 300. This is his chance. This is his freaking chance. I believe in Alexander Rakic. I think the odds are completely wrong. Give me Alexander Rakic. I think he can have success in the striking. I think it can be his types of fight. I think the big shots I think the biggest shots in the fight will be the leg kicks Rakic throws on Ankalaev. I like Rakic here, man. I like Rakic here. Next, we have the card. Speaking of someone else I like, this is my favorite bet of the card. Lerone Murphy over Dan Ige decision, because Ige's unfinishable. Maybe he does get a finish, but probably not. Lerone Murphy's that dude. This dude is so freaking good, and people still don't realize. I mean, maybe not Tapology, because a lot of people are picking Lerone, and fair play. He looks so good against Edson Barboza. And I knew after the fight what was going to happen. People were going to be like, well, you just beat old Edson Barboza. Who cares? Not what people were saying before the fight. Lerone Murphy did that to Edson Barboza and made him look like that. Because Lerone Murphy is that freaking dude. He is great everywhere. Good striking. Amazing striking defense. That's probably like the one thing you have to worry about with Danny Ige. That's the freaking power he's got. He's got great power. Man, Lerone Murphy's got chin. We saw that in the Edson Barboza fight. He got freaking hit right on the chin with an up kick from Edson. Took it like a freaking champ. It probably did hurt him. Freaking took it like a champ. Lerone Murphy's that freaking dude. He has master wrestling upside here. Can absolutely wrestle Dan Ige. Dan Ige tends to give up his back. Lerone Murphy can get the back and take him down with it. Not really the guy to usually take the back. I'm not really seeing Lerone Murphy do that. But he can still use it as an entry to get takedowns. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to be the longer guy. Dan Ige is not necessarily big for the division. I love Lerone Murphy here. I got him minus 185. I think even where he is now. Well, maybe not as much now. Where is he? Minus 250. I think he's bettable still, but it's not as much so. Maybe minus 3.5 because I just see Lerone Murphy's so good at winning decisions. I said this a while ago. I love guys who win decisions. Who win clear decisions, I should say. Some of my favorite fighters, Volkanovski. Oh my god, Leon Edwards. Lerone Murphy's like this too. Menon Fior. Like these people, not necessarily known for finishes as much, but man, they make fights so clear to watch, and they're freaking masters of their craft. Lerone Murphy's one of those types of guys. I freaking love him. I love this dude, and I think he's a top 5 level talent in this division. I don't think people give him the respect he deserves. People just remembering his first fight back, Gabriel Santos, his first fight back from the accident he had. Yeah, it's real rushy, that fight. Not necessarily fighting the best, but he still won that fight. I thought he won that fight. I know a lot of people didn't, but I thought he won that fight. It was close. And since then, he's looked phenomenal because Lerone Murphy is that level. He's getting better. You can see he's clearly getting better. Just had a 5-rounder fight. He's got belief in his cardio. He's ready to freaking go. Undefeated in Abu Dhabi, too. I don't think Ige's won in Abu Dhabi, actually. He fought Cater in Abu Dhabi. I know that. I don't think he's fought anyone else, but undefeated in Abu Dhabi, I guess. It's undefeated as a whole. Give me Lerone Murphy all freaking day. He's my biggest bet of the card. I love him here. I think he's going to do freaking work. Let's go Lerone Murphy. Next fight up the card, we have Robert the Reaper Whittaker versus Khamzat Boris Chimaev. This is an interesting fight. I get why people are leaning Whittaker. I get it. I'm remained unchanged though. I'm going KO round 1. But I will say this. I think Khamzat Chimaev would be foolish to try and do a heavy wrestling game plan against Whittaker. Why do I say that? I worry about his cardio. Very, very much so. I think he can win on the feet. I think he can land a big shot on Robert Whittaker and get him out of there like that. I think he's better off doing it like that, which feels crazy to say. Khamzat got good striking, though. He's got good striking, though. People are forgetting about that. He's got good striking. I think he's able to find the shot on Whittaker, and it hurts my soul. I want Rob to win so bad, and I hope he does. I'm not crazy about betting Khamzat this line. Maybe I'll put a little bit, but I think Khamzat passes the test. But this will be definitely a big, tough test for Khamzat Chimaev. If he can wrestle Whittaker, it'll be scary. But Rob does have really good takedown defense. That's the thing. Very good takedown defense. And just good defense in general for the most part. It's just sometimes his chin is not the best. And that kind of is why ultimately I am picking Khamzat. I think he can find a shot. Even with that. Can Khamzat get a finish, a sub or a finish ground and pound on top in round 1 with wrestling? Sure, he can, but I think he puts himself in way too much danger if he does that. Just maybe you can implement it midway through rounds. Don't have to force it. The 5-rounders, I get why people are going Whittaker, and Whittaker is probably not a bad bet live. I don't think he'll be a bad bet live, because if we get into round 3, the Khamzat not looking that great. That's a yikes. That's a yikes. But I do think Hamzat finds the finish here early on. So give me Chimaev. Sad. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. This is such a good fight. This is such a good fight. I'm going Max to win a decision. I know like a lot of people are predicting Ilia to be the guy to knock out Holloway. I don't think so. I think it's if he does finish Holloway by like a TKO KO, it's a body shot. I don't think he's knocking him out cold. He couldn't knock out Josh Emmett out cold. His power is being overstated. Not that he doesn't have power. He definitely has more power than Max. So don't get me wrong. He has power, but it's getting overstated to the point where it's like he KOs everyone. No, he doesn't. That's not how this sport works. Max has a great chin. He's got the best chin in the sport, probably. Him or Vittori. Or, I don't know, there's other names, but Max's chin is insane. There were a few factors that make me go with Max. But I have to say, if one of these factors are just not true, he's not going to win this fight. Max Holloway needs to have his unlimited cardio. He needs his unlimited cardio in order to win this fight. He needs to be able to go all day, every day against Ilia in order to win. He needs to have his unbreakable chin. He cannot get chin like put down by Ilia. As long as he has his freaking crazy chin to take the shots, he's got a chance to win. He has to use his weaponized pace. You have to have the cardio, and you have to be able to use that cardio against your opponent. You gotta make them wilt. He can do that. If he has that, he can win this fight. And oh my god, I have this written down somewhere. I'm forgetting. I apologize. Where was it? What was the other thing? Unbreakable. Oh my god, how could I forget? How could I forget? He needs volume. He needs volume. That's a bad one to forget. He needs volume in order to win this fight. So he needs all four of those things in order to win. If he doesn't have one, he's not going to win. I think he will. I think he will. I think Ilia Topuria is nasty. I don't like the guy. I'll be straight up honest. So I wouldn't be surprised if I am a little biased against him. I'm not too interested in betting too much on Max. If I am going to bet Max, and I don't even think I even will. And if I do, it's going to be like $1 or $2. I'm not going to go crazy with Max Holloway. Because again, I think I do have bias. Volkanovski is my favorite fighter. What he did to Fight Boy Volk makes me so sad to this day. But like Ilia could definitely win this fight. I'm not acting like he has no shot. No, he's no chance of beating Max Holloway. That's dumb. No. And on the ground, I don't think Max is out of his element necessarily. We've seen him try more sub attempts as of late against like TKZ, had a Darce attempt off the top of my head. But obviously Ilia, very great grappler. We know that. He hasn't used that too much in the UFC, but he's a good grappler. But I don't think Max is like overmatched in that aspect personally. I don't think so. Maybe he is, but yeah. We don't really know about Ilia Topuria's cardio when he goes against adversity. Against Josh Emmett, he had no adversity. Could go 5 rounds, no problem, just beating the guy up. That's good to see. But if he goes through adversity, I don't know if he got the cardio for it. I'm willing to try it and test that out with Max Holloway. I'm willing to try and pick Max Holloway. Let's see what you got. That's what I'm going with. Max is still in his prime, I think. Probably more towards the end. He's gone through many mileage. I get it. That's probably why people are going with like Ilia's going to finally KO him. He got knocked down in his last fight, even though it wasn't ruled as one. He got knocked down. I don't think that necessarily means much. Like he got right back up after getting put down by Gaethje. He was fine. Put off balance a little bit. Something Ilia does have a problem with. He is susceptible to like head kicks. So like a little bit of like the lead head kick. There's a reason why Volkanovski was trying to throw many lead head kicks at him, because Ilia has shown in the past to be susceptible to it. Against Jai Herbert, off the top of my head, like that's a pretty clear one. Like he got hit by a big one and dropped him bad. He got hit by one against a guy in the regional scene. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he got dropped by that one too. So it's not like Ilia Topuria has an unbreakable chin. Doesn't have an unbreakable chin. Neither does Max, because I always get older. How it is. But I think Max can use his size, use a little bit of reach he has because of the height, even though they have like similar reaches, but the reach of Max is gonna be bigger because of that. The height. He's gonna be the longer one. I'm worried about Max being pushed back by Ilia. I don't think Ilya's dumb. I think Ilia knows that's kind of what he has to do. So like that's what I'm like really scared of, and why I don't want to put too much money on Max, because I do think Ilia probably knows I cannot back up against Holloway. The only chance that happens is if Ilia's either hurt or is just wilting. It was the only chance that happens. But I think Max Holloway gets it done. I do think he gets it done, even with those things considering. I think all four of those things: weaponized pace, volume, unbreakable chin, cardio. I think him having all those will become the UFC featherweight champion again. What a great fight, though. This is gonna be a banger. I'm excited for it. I'm not looking to be too financially invested in this one. I'm looking to enjoy it for the most part. So yeah, that's my breakdown. Let's go through some of the other bets, like the more takedowns, more 6 strikes, some overs, unders I might like out the whole card. Bruno Silva is I don't know. I'm not super confident about it. Maybe an under. It's interesting. It's like okay. I'm not too crazy about it though. So I would just pass on it. Maybe unders chalk. Ugh. I'll just pass. Ebel, Arslan, Raphael. Maybe the over is an interesting look, but plus 110, it's not a bad look. Plus one, I do think it gets finished early on, so maybe I'm wrong, but at the plus money, it's not a bad bet, I think, with these types of guys looking to try and kill. But probably I'd pass on that. I just pass on it as a whole again. Renat, more takedowns. Lock that in. That's a free few cents in your wallet. That's not gonna miss. I'd be shocked if you miss that. He's gonna get more takedowns, and yeah, I would just stick to the more takedowns. Maybe the over would be interesting as well. Like, what is the over actually? Minus 205. That's not bad. I don't think that's too bad. The worry is like Liao short notice, but again, he had a camp. But maybe Renat really does like outmatch him in the wrestling. So maybe I would stay away from that. But it probably does go to decision. Probably does go over 2.5. Renat more takedowns. I love that prop. Fareed Basharat, more takedowns all day. All day. You can do whatever you want with that. You can parlay that if you can. More takedowns for Reed. I think you'll be good. More 6 strikes, I'd say too. I think more 6 strikes is an interesting look as well. So that's what I think with that. Kenny and Chuku, I think more 6 strikes is a pretty freaking good bet on this one. I don't think that's going to be as much chalk as some of these other ones. But I don't see Barnett landing like more than Kennedy. Kennedy's not necessarily the most active one, so I wouldn't put like the whole bankroll on it. Don't do that. But I think he consistently is going to be the one landing a lot more in this fight. So give me Kennedy and Chuku to get more 6 strikes. And honestly, maybe more takedowns. More takedowns is probably a pretty good look too, because I don't think Barnett's going to be looking for no takedowns in this. Kennedy and Chuku can get a ground and pound TKO in this fight. Absolutely. I wouldn't be looking at over and under. I don't trust Kennedy's chin enough. I don't trust Barnett's cardio enough. But even then, with how some of these guys fight, not necessarily. I don't want to trust them to get a finish. I'm not trying to sweat that. Abus Magomedov, I think it's scary because Bruno is like all out. You can get more 6 strikes because of that. I just maybe stay away from this. Maybe more takedowns, Abus, but that depends on the odds. If it's plus odds, I would definitely put some money on that, but I wouldn't go crazy with it. Yeah, that's what I think. And I bet you, actually, curiosity, what's the over for this? Over 1.5 minus 105. That's interesting. Maybe that'd be something I would look at, like for a small bet. I think the over 1.5 does hit, and Abus gets a finish late round 2. That's what I think. But tread carefully because Bruno Ferreira doesn't get finished. He gets finished early or he finishes early. So Like I said, tread carefully. Odobai. Mm, I'm not crazy about either side. Maybe more takedowns Ron Betsky because I expect that to be plus money, and I think that would be a bad bet by any means. I don't think that'd be a bad bet, but I'm not crazy about that. Maybe Orla by 6 strikes. I'm not crazy about either of those. So Jeff Neal RDA. I think I like the over 2.5. I think that's gonna hit minus 170. People are worried about RDA's chin and stuff like that. I think he's okay. And here, I think he'll be fine against Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's just a head case sometimes. He just won't perform. More takedowns, probably RDA, because I don't think Jeff Neal's going to go for any takedowns. And if Rafael Dos Anjos gets one, you'll be good. And if he doesn't, it voids. I think that's not a bad bet. Shara Mega, I'm not too crazy about that. Maybe 6 strikes either way is, I guess, is okay, because Shara is more like a volume guy. He is. Petrosian will pick the shots a little more and like pick the best shots possible. I'm not too crazy about that. More takedowns, probably Petrosian is fine, but I really don't think he's gonna even go for one. So I probably better just stay away. I think better just stay away from that. Rakic Ankalaev, I think is gonna be again a tit for tat battle. They're not gonna throw too much either guy, I believe. More takedowns is tough because I think it's pretty even either way too. I think plus money either way in that sense is fine. It's going to be close, and as a result, I think the odds are that it's going to be close. If they're not close, bet the guy is plus money on those odds. That's what I think. But don't go crazy because it's going to be close. Lerone Murphy, Danny Ige. Lerone Murphy, more 6 strikes. Lerone Murphy, more takedowns. As simple as that. You don't have to go crazy. Maybe probably the over, but that's like so chalky. What's the point? What's the point of even going with that? Over 2.5 minus 350. I'd just stay away in my eyes. Also, I should mention this. I think DraftKings has this Lerone Murphy decision only. That's a freaking great bet. That's a great bet. If it goes to decision, Lerone Murphy's winning probably 9 times out of 10. I'd be shocked. Like, the only way he loses that gets dropped like 2 rounds. Not gonna happen, I don't think. I like that bet as well, and I'm probably gonna bet it too. So yeah, give me Lerone Murphy. Robert Whitaker, Hamza Chimaev. More takedowns, Hamza probably, but I'm not crazy about it. Maybe more strikes, 6 strikes, Hamza 2. Not crazy again, because Rob is a really good striker. He's a really good striker. I don't want to go against that. I don't think overs are necessarily like a bad bet in terms of value. Over 2.5 even. That's okay. That's okay. Because Rob is a tough guy. But I would stay away from that personally. I do think Hamza gets a finish round 1 KO. But I'm not like ultra confident it does happen. But I do think it does. So, yeah. Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria. I think the over is fine. Like over 4.5, 3.5 minus 125. I don't hate that at all. I think that's okay to bet. It's interesting. I'll say if you're in 2 camps. If you're in the camp Max Holloway doesn't get chinned, more 6 strikes Holloway, I like a lot. I like a lot. If you're in the camp like Ilia probably finishes Max, if you're in that camp, Ilia 6 strikes is probably a pretty good bet. I bet you. Like at the odds, I think it'll be maybe close to evens, but like I imagine it would lean probably towards Ilia. Or no, Max or 6 strikes, like more 6 strikes, just by a little bit. More takedowns, probably Ilia. I'm not super sure if he will go for it. He totally could. I wouldn't be shocked if he does. But I think if anyone goes for a takedown, it's more likely Ilia Topuria. So yeah, that's what I think. Very excited for UFC 308. I'm like blown away by this card. This is a great card. Very excited. Some betting spots I freaking love. Let's go, Lerone Murphy. Let's go. Alexander Rakic too, my boy. I'm rooting for both of them so hard this weekend. I think both of them get the done, especially Lerone Murphy. Yeah, this is a great card. I'm going to be tapped in. It's an early card, so don't forget to look at that. Otherwise, you can check me out. Bet MMA without tips, Champ Bets, and you can also check me out on champbetsmma.com. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great one. Can't wait for next week's card as well. See y'all next time. Thank you so much. Have a great one.